Hello, and welcome to the Dolphin EasyConverter video tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to be focusing on the Enhance Image tool. Okay, so I've got this PDF here. It's got two pages. One is mostly text, and the other one has a couple of images in. It's this image in particular that I'm interested in. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to take this image and also the text off the second page. I think I'd like to tidy this image up a little bit as well. So this background colour here I'd like to take out, maybe change the colours of the rest of the image. So I'm going to select the Enhance Image tool, which will take me into the Enhance Image environment. Okay, and as we can see, there's two panes here. Firstly, I've got one for my original page, and the second one on the right, that's for the edited image. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when we've finished. Right, I've also got a number of tools across the top here. I've got the pointer tool, so that's just going to leave me with control of my mouse pointer. I've got the zoom tool, which I'll use now, just to zoom into this page a little bit more. Okay, so we can just move down and we can actually see the image that we're actually going to be working with. I've got a select area tool as well. This is very handy, so I can actually select the area of the page that I want to use. Then I've got other tools such as brightness and contrast and hue, saturation and lightness. These are very much similar to other tools you'd find within image enhancement software. Then I've got a rotate and flip, so if I want to turn the image round, and a few other things like a fill. Okay, so we can actually fill the page with a different colour if we want to. Right, so first of all, I'm just going to select the actual piece of the image that I want. So I'm going to choose this crop image tool, and that will just allow me to cut a section out of this page. In conjunction with this crop image tool, I'm also going to select the select area tool, and that will allow me to select the area that I wish to crop. Okay, so I'm just going to hold down my left mouse button and drag a box around the bits that I want to cut. So I'm just going to leave off this this text box here, get as close down to the bottom as I can, making sure I get as much of the image as possible. Okay, so that's my cropped area selected. Now as we can see on the right hand side here, we've got a preview of what this is going to look like. Now I'm quite happy with this, so down in the bottom right hand corner there's a little button that has a play symbol on it, and that's labelled Apply Changes. So I'm just going to click on Apply Changes, and there we go. Okay, so the crop has been performed, and there's my cropped area image on the right hand side. Okay, there's a few bits of this image that I'm not quite happy with. I don't like the fact that there's that 2 in the bottom left hand corner, and then I've got a bit of another image up in the top right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these areas in with white, and to do this I can use the fill tool. So I'll select the fill tool, and once again we've got our select area tool selected. Okay, so that's going to allow us to select the area that we want to fill. Let's start off with this 2 in the bottom corner. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a box around that, and then at the bottom here we have our actual colour box. So if we click on colours, okay, we can actually decide which colour we want to fill the area with. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that as white. Right, and here we have 3 radio buttons. We've got apply to both images, apply to the primary image, and apply to the OCR image. Now if I choose apply to both images, okay, it's actually going to show me that this is the area that's going to turn white. Okay, and I can just select apply changes, and there we go. Okay, and since I chose apply to both images, it's turned it white in both the left hand pane and the right hand pane. Okay, now for this area at the top right. So I've got my selected area down here at the bottom, so what I can do is I can just hold the left mouse button down and just move that area up to the top. And I can also just extend it a little bit just to make sure I've got everything I want to. And then I can just do exactly the same. I can select apply to both images and choose apply changes. And there we see that the section of the image has turned white. Okay. Right, so that's my little bits of tidying up done in terms of removing bits I don't want. But I also want to do a bit more editing on this image in general. I'd quite like to get rid of this background colour and make these colours a little more vivid here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my selected area to encompass the entire image. And then what am I going to choose? I think I'll choose the brightness and contrast tool. Okay, and this has opened up another little section at the bottom here with two slider bars. Now the only way you're really going to get to grips with what these controls do is to have a little practice. I've had a practice before and I know that if I extend the brightness here, I can actually get rid of that background colour. So it's just made everything that much lighter and that background colour has actually disappeared. But now everything's got a little wishy-washy, the colours are a little drained out. So what I can do is I can also extend the contrast, and that just brings up the contrast of all the colours really nicely. Okay, well, I'm happy with that, so again I'm going to choose apply changes. Now this green is a little bright really, so this time I'm going to go into the hue, saturation and lightness tool. And this time we've got three slider bars here. We've got the hue, the saturation and the lightness. So let's have a look what the hue does for us. Okay, that really just changes the colours between blue, purple, yellow. Okay, if we take it all the way down we can go into red. Okay, so I think I'm just going to bump that up a little bit, but just put a bit more blue in there. Just to make it a little bit darker. Then we've got the saturation. So what this does is decide how saturated the image is going to be with colour. So I can take it all the way down to the left hand side and actually make it black and white if I want to. But I'm going to turn this really quite near to the top so it's really saturated with colour. And then we've got the lightness. So we can go all the way up until it's completely white, all the way down until it's completely black. Okay, so I'm just going to darken that up just a little bit. There, I'm quite happy with that image. So what I've done is I've taken those two little bits out, the top left and the bottom, the top right and the bottom left. I've got rid of that background colour and I've tweaked the overall colours just to make them a little more suitable for what I need. So once again I can choose apply changes, and there we go. As we can see in both sides now we've got our altered image. Now I can just choose page ready, and that will take me back to the main OCR editor window where we can see, rather than having that whole page now just with the image at the bottom, we're left with just the image.